A Money Financial Literacy Frugal Living Investing Introduction. No matter how spiritual, aesthetic, creative, beautiful, funny, happy, or bohemian you are, you live in a capitalist world ruled by money. You must pay your way for the rest of your life one way or another. Most of us aren't born with a silver spoon in our mouths, nor will we marry rich, so you have to figure out how to earn money, save it and invest it while not being so materialistic that it's all about greed, one of the 7 deadly sins, or boring like people who spend their free time investing in stocks and otherwise thinking up ways to make more money and increase their material wealth. To me, there are 2 levels of money. One is that I make enough to pay my bills to live in modest comfort, having a lot of free time to do what I want to do. The second level is the fantasy level, where a person has $1 billion or so. They can buy a big yacht or 100 acres of land, then build a mansion and an estate, but in truth life is lived in your head. If I go for a walk or swim on any given day, do some exercises, then some creative things, that's a good day. It doesn't matter if I lay my head in a humble abode or a mansion. Happiness comes by releasing the spirit. I've seen the remains of Pablo Escobar's estate. I've seen other big estates and dormant mansions. Society gives us the idea of luxury, that a big mansion and 5 cars enhance happiness. Almost nobody has studied economics and was exposed to the law of diminishing marginal returns, which is that 1 car or 1 house is good, but when you get the second, the happiness level you get from it is not that big. When you get your third, it goes down some more and keeps going down. People put themselves in debt getting a second mortgage for a summer house that they barely use. Rent a hotel room for a week. It's the craziness of a capitalist, especially with all the easy credit around. Learn enough about money so that you have enough to enjoy your life while not constantly being burdened by it. Money is not that complicated once you understand it. The knowledge is basic. They got several TV networks dedicated to stocks. To the uninitiated, it seems complicated, but you can learn it within a weekend. Financial advisors thrive on their phony mystique, pretending they know deep, advanced things that can help you make money, but if they did, that would be illegal. Advanced knowledge of stock movements is called insider trading. Accountants and tax experts can help you save on taxes, but many are lazy. They won't take the time to maximize your savings on taxes. If you want a hard lesson in investing, watch the CNBC show American Greed. Investing is mostly a sucker's game because no matter what, there is always a so-called correction or crash in the stock market where all your gains and then some are wiped out in a day or two. Once you reach a certain age, you realize it's better to live simply and have peace of mind than to be constantly worried about how your stocks and funds are doing. My goal is to help you understand money, save it and keep a hold of it, because many con artists want a piece of it, including the government, which has the income tax, which I'm against because a sovereign nation has the power to create its own money. It doesn't have to borrow it. This money guide is about practical wisdom to help you get the most out of your money for people playing by the rules, paying taxes, saving steadily for retirement. It has knowledge about bank accounts, credit, loans, estate planning, trusts, annuities, insurance, taxes, etc. The final goal of life is financial security, to have enough money to last you the rest of your life without going homeless. As far as investing goes, I've been watching the stock market for at least 30 years. I did an analysis of it for the past 100 years. It's always the same cycle. I say it's manipulation from a few elitists who control everything, like the people who run the world banking system and have appointed themselves the rulers of money, creating it out of nothing, lending it to governments. These people can control the money supply anytime they want by raising interest rates and calling in loans. That's what they did to destroy the country in the stock market crash of 1930, simply raise interest rates and make it hard to borrow money to increase business. They do it to short the economy. When the economy goes down, as in a stock market crash or a recession, the big money people can buy stocks, businesses, and real estate at a discounted rate. They now own it. The economy comes around again, so they can sell this stuff at a higher fee. For the average person, it's about making money passively by parking it somewhere where someone works with it to make a profit, thereby making you a profit as with GIC with modest interest. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, futures, stock options, puts and calls, currency trading, derivatives, packaged monetary instruments, real estate, other creative things crafty con artists think up. The stock market is a predictable scam. People make money off it all the time, but the game is always the same. Hype, 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 up, 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 crash. Hype, hype, up, up, crash. The media and the TV networks are all hyping stocks because it's their business to hype stocks. I'm not disputing the fact that an astute investor can pick a few wins here and there, but for the most part every stock market is a game run by insiders despite the laws against this. The problem in the United States is that if you get really sick or disabled and your medical insurance limits are reached, before the US government's Medicaid program for indigent people can kick in, you have to have exhausted all the assets they know about through public records. So the lesson is, as you age, convert whatever you own into cash, gold, a foreign account, or sign it over to relatives, maybe in joint ownership. Otherwise, if you get really sick, you'll spend everything on medical care. If you don't have money, you got nothing. You're going along cruising through life not too concerned about money because you're making a fairly good wage. What happens if you get fired, your company goes bankrupt, you get sick, get into an accident, your daughter needs to go to an expensive eating disorder clinic to save her life, or the world goes into an economic tailspin? How many mortgage or rent payments are you away from being on the street if you got cut off today? Why would any sane person invest their hard-earned money in the stock market or more complex ventures like stock options, REITs, or ADAs after seeing how the financial insiders on Wall Street were essentially conducting a loose conspiracy of ripping off honest Americans by constantly pushing them to buy stocks like I see every day on financial networks even when the market goes way down? The stock market is nowhere near as great as it's cracked up to be. All the investing media, stockbrokers, and investment companies hype it up because they have to, that's their business, to get suckers to get into the game. But overall, for most people, the gains aren't all that great and there is a risk of losing a lot of money. It's like the casino. A few flukes win a lot of money, a few knowledgeable people win at poker, but by and large, it's only the house that wins the big money all the time, like only the insiders of Wall Street. I think buying and managing rental income of good properties as opposed to slum-type real estate is a safe investment. Wise, enlightened people figure out a way to earn money by doing something they like to do, so they start up a small business venture. Most people who get rich will do it through their own efforts by doing something useful. They won't do it through the speculation of investing. A big lie of a capitalist world is that more stuff equals greater happiness. Beyond what you need, more equals a headache and a hassle in many cases. You don't need all that much to live well, plus you're a prime target for crime if you try to show off your conspicuous consumption of luxury goods. Nobody needs a 5,000 square foot house, especially if it's a couple with no kids. I saw people with big houses feeling sorry for themselves because they took out big mortgages then got stuck when prices fell. It's their own fault. They thought they were hot stuff living in the high-class part of town when they bought those big houses they didn't need, when they should have bought much smaller ones and they wouldn't have had that headache to deal with. Other things that waste big money are extra vehicles, a second house, or a big boat that you really use. People pay a lot of money for a little bit of extra status and convenience. The biggest rules of money are: 1. Everything you see on TV is hype. 2. What goes up must come down. 3. Money in the hand is worth more than money on paper. 4. Doing what you want makes you happier than buying stuff you don't need. There are probably a million stock and money advice websites out there and a few hundred money books at number 332 or HG 179 to about HG 5155 at the library. If you're really into money, I urge you to go to number 332 at the library and borrow a bunch of those stock advice books there. Every year, some fresh new books come out about the stock market, even though there is no new, advanced way to buy stocks. It's the same, old common sense info mixed in with the same old uncertainty of stock trading covered over with a good dose of hype. There is no sage that has divine knowledge over anyone else unless he or she has insider knowledge. You only get good by studying the stock market itself day after day. You can't buy a guidebook because you learn as you buy stocks and study the market. Money can only bring you happiness to the point that it pays all your bills for a modestly comfortable life. Material excess is the sin of gluttony, plus you covet your neighbor's goods, which is jealousy. Is it a sin when you take more than you need from the earth's bounty while others starve every day? Jesus said in Matthew 19:24 that it's harder for a rich man to get to heaven than it is for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. In 1 Timothy 6:10, Timothy says, "For the love of money is a root of all evil." Your life is in your head. Your worth to others is your usefulness to them and love for them. There are some investment books mixed in with the business books at around number 658.15 or HG 4910 at the library. For an in-depth look at corporations, go to number 338 at the library. Consumer education books are at number 640.7 or TX 335 at the library. Home economics/thrift type living books are at number 332.024 or TX 326 at the library. Try number 368 or HG 8061 for books about insurance. To find an expert in anything, try exp.com, guru.com or elance.com. Elance.com is a service resource provider, offering info about companies who offer all manner of services. These are the barebones most honorable money websites. Money.com. Money.ca. If you're interested in how to build a house, even an alternative house, refer to my home book or go to number 690-699 at the library.